Aguda Midwest Shabbos Rabboisai. Liulu Nishamas It's not ach. But okay. Takes some getting used to. Depends on what city. You know what? In Chicago it could be ach. It's fine. Just do ach. No aras. No, chas v'shalom. Be very makbid. So let's do it again. Agud Voch Rabboisai. Oh, very good. Because it's a suffix if it's for Erev Shabbos, it's for Motzi Shabbos, with the tie, without the tie. Okay. So here's a follow-up to Daniel Leichter. He bought 300 shekel worth of pizza for the Olam. It's a mishpacha of givers. We have with us an anonymous sponsor for last night's pizza, helped out with last night's pizza and sushi. So Yishkoich Mr. Rabbi Anonymous, he's sitting with us here today. Shalom Raveli. Oh, so I just want to, it's in Hebrew, so I'm just going to read real quickly. This guy says that he likes my beard. That's the bottom line after everything. Eliezer Rubin likes the beard. Shkoyach. I have to read one or two of those every time I grow a beard. Mazel Tov from Shaya. It's been 1,000 days, about 3 years since I started with MDY. I never missed a day of the daf, even on holidays, vacation, or when the Rav Agoyin Reb Eli Stefansky goes away on the holidays. It changed my life. P.S. I'd like to come on the cruise. Shai Spears since Tainis Daf Beis, London, UK, Stamford Hill. What cruise? He doesn't have to go. He could go to Manchester. Same thing. Hi, Rebelli. So this guy says that I'm like Reb Akiva. So I'm not going to read the whole thing because I got a few emails like that. I don't read them. It's not gaiva. It's shtus. It's you don't say it's like, oh, you're like Avram Avinu. Put you in the same. Reb Akiva was one of the greatest human beings that ever lived. The Gemara says Gemara says maybe Moshe Rabbeinu said, why are you giving me the Torah through me? Give through Reb Akiva. But one thing is important here that he does say, even though it's embarrassing, he says you started when you were about 40, so you see that you could anybody could start at a advanced age. You don't have to start when you're younger. So that part I'll read. Also in Hebrew. The boy said donations for the Gemaras. I'm very surprised because I wasn't expecting such a outpouring of support. It's tremendous. So I'm going to read all these names. I think it's beautiful. Mayor and Chaya Rivka official, 30 Gemaras. Eddie Sala, 20. Anonymous, 16. Eli Goldstein, 15. Moshe Banda, 11. Michael Litwin, 10. Moshe Dax, 10. If you remember, did I read these names in English? Because Michael Litwin is the one that wrote he gave 10 Gemaras, Liulu Nishmas, his Rebbe, the 54-year-old Magachir that had a brain tumor or something. Moshe Dax, 10. Yosef Jahavarian, 10. Yossi Osreicher, 10. Avram Holzer, 10. Ari Davis for Shlema for Dr. Meir Wickler. I don't know why it says it here, but okay. Fell off his bike in Eretz Yisrael. You guys know Dr. Wickler? He's at the Shabbaton. I think he writes in the Mishpacha magazine, actually. Ralph Beda, 9. Ellis W, 5. Hillel Kapnick, 5. Aaron Chafkis, 5. David Hirsch, 5. Hadar Wise, 5. Johannes Rabatzer, 4. Alex Gillen, 3. Avrami Gober, 3. These are beautiful. 3 people that will Be'ezer Hashem join learning Torah, changing their lives. John Denora, 3. Pinchas Holberger, 3. Yechiel Gordon, 3. Where is he today? Moshe Miupka, 3. These are in Eretz Yisrael. Avram Herzberg, 2. Ben Alpern, 2. Shmuley Becks, 2. The rest are 2. Simon Fogel, 2. Not the rest. Sullivan Ziskind, 2. Kobe Goldschmidt, he's our editor. Back, 2. Hebrew editor. Chaim Wisentowski, 2. Aaron Kestenbaum, 1. Hanan Wiener, Joseph Gerecht, Naftali Kraus, Shmuel Eidler, 1. Yoni Hershkovitz, Yosef Ezra, Moshe Adiel, Moshe Harari, 1. Beautiful. 1 is also beautiful. Shkoyach Gadol to all those who donated in Be'ezer Hashem, where we shipped off a whole shipment to Los Angeles. Oh, I got to mention. I have to start mentioning. I forgot. Be'ezer Hashem, right after Tisha B'Av, Wednesday, I'm going to give Shiurim hopefully in the morning here, like early afternoon, let's say the same time. And off I am to Los Angeles for probably a week and a half. Because Los Angeles, we want to spend a few days there, pumping up the island with Shiurim, visiting my son Akiva, that's the main focus, but also pumping Shiurim. And I need to take my wife somewhere. So hopefully we go somewhere nice. And back to Los Angeles. And if not, we'll just stay in Los Angeles. So the idea is like to get the Tzibur in Los Angeles together. So if you're in Los Angeles, you watch this Shiurim, please come to the live Shiurim. Please be mechazik doilam, because that's one of the cities, my goal this year, to really focus on and get them up and living the Daf and living MDY and being part of the Chevra. The Koil is sponsored by Yedidya Pereira. Please Daven for Pidyon Shvuyim, Yonatan Yehуда, Michal, Incarcerated, denied bail in Ireland. The Masechta for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Parnas HaChodesh, Zechraya Zechraya Bas Yosef. Parnas HaChodesh Yedidya Pereira. Please Daven for Pidyon Shvuyim, Yonatan Yehuda Ben Mindol, incarcerated, denied bail in Ireland. Parnas HaYoyim, Sruly Bernstein. Nishamas, he's a big sponsor because I remember his name all the way from COVID days when I was in my house. And the first time I read his name, it said Sruly Bernstein. I was like, Sruly Bernstein? Oh, it's Bernstein. Okay. Sruly Bernstein, Liulu Nishmas, Fraida Rezel Bas from Yitzchok, Shalom Shadav Aliyah. By Avi Steinberg, B'schus, my dear friend, B202, Shmuel Yoel ben Alta Fayga, who made me join MDY 2 years ago. Shkoyach. Who made me? Made me. He convinced you. He didn't make you. Oh, it's tomorrow's sugya. It's the sugya I learned today. Telu v'zaven. If you force somebody to do Torah, to learn Torah, it's not a force. You really want. It's just your little Yetzirah we got to peel off. It's the famous Rambam. It's mamish. But when it comes to mitzvahs and Torah, he made me. Good. He made you. Excellent. In honor of Camp Aguda Midwest winning team neighborhood, day Lieutenant Ali Steg, by your proud parents. You hear this? In honor of Camp Aguda Midwest winning team neighborhood, day Lieutenant Ali Steg. Yavaldi. What's this? Ravoisai, here's the question of the day, really. It happens all the time. You go to shul, you hang up your coat, you come out, your coat is gone. What happened? The guy thought it's his coat. Shalom Vracha, all the way from Cleveland, huh? Givaldik. You put your galachas down. I don't know, do people still wear boots to shul these days? It's not a big thing anymore. It used to be. You bring your umbrella to shul. You walk out. Everybody has the same unbelievable umbrella with that white handle, whatever it is, and the guy thought it says, he takes it. You know it's not. What's the halacha? What's the halacha? Are you allowed to use the guy? Here, there's something called, you guys don't know about it, it's something called China coat. It costs like $30. It's a piece of plastic. You put it over your black hat, over your strimal. They're identical, 1-to-1. If you don't write your name in it, there could be 40 of them. Some shuls actually have like a whole pile of them. You just take them and bring them, return them. So what happens? You come to shul, and the guy took yours. You know, you put your little initial there. He doesn't know, and he just took it. Now, you wait. Everybody leaves shul. There's one left right there. You know, that's the one. He's the guy. He's the culprit. You allowed to take it? It's raining outside. It's very problematic. We'll see in the Gemara is problematic, but maybe with Shaina coats, according to the Aruch HaShulchan, yesh lahatir, certain coats, certain things that are identical in the same company, then we can be mad. So let's see. Masiv Rava l'sayua l'rabba. So I would like to remind the Olam yesterday, just to remind the Olam, that we had a machlokes yesterday between Rab and Abaya. When the Mishnah says that a uman, a craftsman, whether you're a dry cleaner owner or any kind of craftsman, he cannot have a chazakah. He can't say, oh, this shirt, yeah, remember, I thought it was brilliant. You have to have a certain mind to be an artist. You see that? It's in the plastic, it's gewaldig, I love it. The uman, the dry cleaner guy can't say, oh, it's mine. Why? Because that's what he does for a living. He takes people's cars, he fixes them. He can't say, oh, this car is mine, this suit is mine. That's not what a craftsman can do. Rabbi says, no. When can't he say it? He cannot do that when there's Eidim Masira, like in this case. There's two guys, you see the two Eidim on the side. When they testify, they saw it, then not. Otherwise, he's believed. Abaye says, no, it's more the Eidei Re'iyah. It's Eidim didn't see that the guy gave it into the dry cleaner, but they see the dry cleaner guy walking around with it. And then Rabbah revises his opinion and he says, no, what I meant to say, you need both. In order for a guy not to be believed, the dry cleaner guy not to be believed, you need Eidim that show that he deposited this shirt in the cleaner. And also Eidim that say he wore it. Okay. Says Rav, it's interesting. Lashon, most of the Rashbam says maybe it comes from how Rav was speaking, but most of Rav l'sayul Rabba, he has a raya to Rabba. But what? It says that if somebody gives his talus to the dry cleaner, here's the picture. They have an argument, how much did they agree upon? Is it 2 or is it 1? Now, I know I said this 20 times, but it's kedai maybe to say it now for the people that didn't hear it. Perhaps the machlokes is, typical talus, what should a talus cost? $10. The guy goes to the dry cleaner, he gets a $100 bill. Why? The guy says, well, $10 to clean it, $90 to take out all those knots you had in the fringes. So maybe that's what happened. Anyways, they had a fight. Is it 2 or is it 1? It was 1. So it goes like this. It depends. Who's holding on to this talus now? Who's the machzik? When the garment is by the dry cleaner, then the uman could say, it's mine. Whatever. He has sort of a migo. You could say, I bought it. It's not like something, because as we mentioned yesterday, there's something called Varev Hanishalim. Okay, he's believed. That this dry cleaner guy is believed. Yes and no, because he's the type of guy, that's what I'm saying. He's the type of guy that takes these all day long and he gives them, so his possession doesn't really mean a whole lot, but it does mean. That's what we're saying. Because that's why it's stuck in. It's dvarim hasuyim lahashulu lahaskir. I just mentioned yesterday in briefing, I showed there's a chazaka, anything that you're wearing, you have a chazaka that is yours. On the flip side, if it's something that people lend out their car, so just because I'm driving your car doesn't make it mine. Over here also, people giving suits to the dry cleaners, just because he's holding on to it, he loses a little bit of that chazaka. So, but when it's in his possession, then the balabais has to prove it. Why? Because the uman could say, I have a migo, I bought it from you. But once it leaves the dry cleaner's possession, the uman's possession, that's it. He loses his migo. He can't say, oh, I bought it from you. It's too late. So, bizmanoi nishba v'noito. In its time, I'll explain in a second. When it's the time to get paid, then. Now, before we say then, let me ask you a question. It's a tricky question. Who's busier? Who has more of an excuse to forget the price they made up? The guy giving in the dry cleaning or the dry cleaner? Dry cleaner what? He has more of a reason to forget the price?
He has a lot of different prices. He's giving to different people.
On the other hand, that's his business. He does this all day long. In his sleep, he wakes up 6:52. That's how much a shirt. The shirt this, that, a talus, that. How many prices does he have? 10. He remembers them. The guy giving in the dry cleaners, he has a whole list of things. He has to go to shop and jewel for Shabbos. He has to drop off his kids in camp. Then he has to go to the mikveh. And this. He has a million things on his head. So perhaps he's confused. I also thought like you guys, but the Gemara says differently. So, therefore, says the Gemara, if he gave it back, if it's in the time to pay, you swear. Who swears? The guy in charge of the dry cleaner, because the balabais is tarud. The balabais has a lot going on in his life. Over his manoi, but once it's shkia, hamaitzi mechaverei olavaraya, then since it's in the owner's hand, then the dry cleaner guy has to prove it. And let's just explain what this Aver Zmana means. The Torah says, "B'yomoy titin zchoroi." We have a chiyuv d'oraisa to pay a daily worker, a guy that's a zchiriyim, pay him on that day. So if he finishes work, like right at the end of the day, like they used to finish, like towards Shkia, so you have to pay him throughout the night. You have like one period of time to pay him. You must pay him within that 12 hours. If he finishes work, he does the night shift, so he finishes working right before daybreak. So you have to pay him that whole day. The kids are right after he finishes work, you have like 12 hours to pay him, and you got to pay him right away. And here's the video, in case you saw the other video where, what was the other video? Ba'al Avimai. So this is the continuation of Ba'al Avimai. The ending has to do with it. Let me see. Rabbi Isai, as I'm embarking on a trip to Europe, Italy, London, Manchester, I want to chaparai in another mitzvah. We're learning about B'yomoy titin zchoroi. What better way than to hire a taxi to take me from here, go 30 feet up the street, and pay him on time? What better way than to chaparai in just another mitzvah? B'yomoy titin zchoroi.
How you doing?
Not you again.
Yes.
But Olavimo.
Olavimo.
Oh man, wow. This might be a little interesting today. Do you mind? I just want to go up the block to MDY, 20 feet to MDY. Is that doable?
Sure.
I want to be Mekayim the mitzvah of B'yomoy titin zchoroi.
Okay, you got it.
All right.
Let's go.
Take a look. This
Okay,
taxi. There's
I
another
got it.
taxi in the
20
background.
seconds.
I want to tell you a 20 great
seconds.
story.
Okay,
cool. Whoa, you're not gonna believe this.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. I didn't really bring money. I'll bring it tomorrow.
What do you mean
Tomorrow.
you didn't bring money?
I don't have.
What do you mean? B'yomoy titin zchoroi. Look at it. B'yomoy titin zchoroi.
You know.
B'yomoy titin zchoroi.
Sorry. That's the guy. Look in the
Hello?
left.
Hello? What's going on? What are you doing?
I
What are you
told
doing?
Tomorrow.
What do you mean tomorrow?
You want the money?
B'yomoy titin zchoroi.
Okay. I don't have it.
You
want
gotta
the
pay
money?
me now. Yeah,
Fine.
b'yomoy.
I'm just looking at that taxi in the background. It's unbelievable. I'll tell you in a second.
Lo Seco.
Anyway. Fine. You got to see the other video to appreciate this one. Great. Yeah? Has to do one with the other, with the more. Okay, now we're even. A fascinating thing happened that during when we were filming that scene, I saw a taxi in the background and I see a whole thing between a yeshiva guy and the taxi driver. So I tell the video guy, I said, I think I know what's going on here. You better take a video. I go over to the guy and said, excuse me, what's going on here? And he said, the guy doesn't have money. And I said, he doesn't have money. That's exactly what we're talking about over here. He doesn't have money. So I actually paid him. I paid the taxi driver. He's very excited. We took a video of him. I showed him the shir the next day. The problem is that when I showed it in shir the following day, I also showed the boy that didn't have the money, and I interviewed him. I said, tell me the true story. He said, I didn't have money. I forgot the money. And by mistake, we sent the taxi away with a soccer ball in it. There was a big... The guy's father tried to reach me. He's calling, and whatever. I'm hard to get through on the phone. So he left me a message. He says, I'm not happy that you put my son on the shear. You make him look bad. He didn't have money to pay for the taxi. He's like, oh no.
He felt
Anyway.
guilty. It was his fault.
But Lamaisa, it was like this is the story we're trying to say that the guy doesn't have money to pay a taxi driver. And here it is right in front of our face. All right. Which reminds me of another story that when I was talking to Yoshi about, I told him I want to take 6 cups and put them in a row. You remember the story? And I looked down by my feet and the 6 cups were right there. There's 6 plastic cups. I still have those 6 cups on my desk. And it was in the same spot as that taxi. Literally, that's where the 6 cups were, that's where the taxi. 2 nisim happened. Baruch Shasa nisim b'mokim hazeh. Anyway, Zog the Gemara. So, again, so if it's within the time period of, if it's within the time period that you have to pay within those 12 hours, then the guy makes a shvua. Who makes a shvua? The owner of the dry cleaner. Once that time goes by, the 12 hours, you're not, that's it. You're already over. Then it's Hamaytz Mechaver Levarai. Says the Gemara Echidami. Don't forget, we're middle of a sugya here. Is it Eidei Mesira? Is it Eidei Rio? What's going on here? So the Gemara wants to bring a raya against Abaya for Rabba. Hechidami Idik Eidim. If the Eidim witnessed this, they were in the Eidei Mesira. They saw what had happened. So don't they know the price? They were there. They were behind the counter, wherever they were. They saw the guy giving it. So why don't we ask them how much was it? Was it 2 or was it 1? There's no way. And it says that the dry cleaners believe. Since he's believed to say, I purchased it from the guy, so he's also believed to say that it's 2, not 1. No, but Abai says the Eidim of Riyah, they see him wearing it out. Nothing to do with that. Has to do with the Eidim without Eidim. Says the Gemara. So it says Kash on Abai. Says the Gemara, there's no Eidim. Who the Leira? You're telling me that they saw. No, we're talking about a case. Nobody saw anything. There's no Eidim for Riyah, and there's no Eidim for Mesira, nothing. So now we're going to ask a question on Rabbah and bring a raya to Abai, the opposite. Uman Eli Chazaka. Yeah, so that's the Mishnah. We can just show it for a second if we want. Here. It says in the Mishnah, Ha'uman, Ha'umani v'ashutfim v'arisin, ein lahem, v'avitrav ein lahem chazaka lo'ili yishchot. Fine. There's no chazaka for Uman, there's no chazaka for Aris. That's his business. He doesn't get it to do a chazaka. Rabbi explained it's Eidim. So let's see. Uman and the chazaka. So the Gemara infers, why does the Mishnah talk about a Uman? What about a regular person? No. It's only a Uman, a professional, that's his job. He does dry cleaning. He cannot do a chazaka for 3 years or any chazaka. Uman u'dein lechazaka. Acher, yesh lechazaka. A regular person does have a chazaka. Hechidan, what's the case? Idik Eidim. If there's Eidim, so then everybody's the same. If there's Eidim, the woman doesn't have a chazaka, and a regular person does have a chazaka. Why? Why would a regular person have a chazaka? There's Eidim that say that Reuven gave it to Shimon. So why would Shimon be able to? Why can you deny it if there's Eidim? Elalav delek Eidim. There's no Eidim. So we're talking about there's no Eidim. A woman doesn't have a chazaka, but a regular person does. Yufta the rabba to Yufta. So at the end of the day, we have a bomb kasha. You see that without Eidim, there's no Eidim. And nevertheless, Uman doesn't have a chazaka. Rabba started off saying that, the only time he's not believed is if there's Eidim. No, you see, you don't need Eidim, and he's still not believed. Yufta the rabba to Yufta. Great. So now we're coming up to the story of the shul. The umbrellas, the shoes, the coats. Happens all the time. You know what happened to me last week in O'Hare? A guy took my suitcase in front of me. I saw my suitcase coming down the conveyor belt, and a guy went and grabbed it. So I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. I know it's mine. Let me see if he's going to steal it. So he takes it and he holds on to it, and all of a sudden his wife starts screaming at him. Hey, it's not yours. What are you doing? Looks. So he went to put it back. I said, no, it's mine. Thanks for taking off the conveyor belt. I appreciate it. It happens. Yeah. It's happened to me that somebody took my suitcase. Like literally, I waited for my suitcase. It didn't come, but I saw a very similar suitcase. I realized it's the guy. So I was able to, I knew who he was based on his tag. We were able to call him and the whole thing. People do that. So what's the halacha? Nischalfu loy kelim bekelim. You come out to look for your clothing, and they're gone. Here's a great picture that Yoshi did. You walk out of the bathroom and your talus looks like everybody else's talus. Now what? If you got it from a cleaner, it reminds you of the story. A guy went to Uman. They told him, listen, if you go to the mikvah next to the Reb Nachman's caver, change your whole life. So this guy shows up with his flip-flops, short pants, this t-shirt that says something obnoxious on it, and he dunks in the mikvah and he feels this gedusha overcome him. And sure enough, when he left the mikvah, he was wearing a shtreimel, a long kapata, brand new shoes. And in fact, he even had a couple $100 in his pocket to last him the whole month. It's unbelievable. The change that the mikvah did for him is unbelievable. Mamash maifus. So sometimes maifsim like that happen in the mikvah. It actually just happened to my friend, seriously. Happened to Mendy this week. He was in the mikvah, somebody took a shirt by mistake. Just took a shirt, left him with it shirtless. And and then a tzaddik there insisted he had a brand new shirt, take my new shirt, you don't have to pay the whole thing, but it happens. Things like that happen. So Nishamas Kelim Beis Uman. Harezi Yishtamish B'hem Achi Yovei Alavi Intel Shaloi. So if it got switched up in the cleaners, then you could use the other guy's clothing until you figure things out. Bebeis Ha'avel. Oy, Bebeis HaMishta. I didn't say this one in a long time, so I have to say it. They say, it says, Toiv le'leches lebeis ha'avel, le'leches lebeis ha'mishta. So they say in Eretz Yisrael, Toiv le'leches lebeis ha'avel of a Sephardi than to beis ha'mishta of Ashkenazi. If you've ever been to the beis ha'avel of a Sephardi, they put out so much food. It's a lot better than a chasana of Ashkenazi. Yeah. So anyway, you go to we can you hang up your coat at a wedding. Chances are you're not going to find it. So, bebeis hamishta harei lo yishtamish b'hem ad sheyovei aloi v'yitel shaloi. But if you go to the shiva house or to the, I just spoke to my partner. He lives here in Lincolnwood. He's not non-religious, and he told me that his wife just died like 2 weeks ago. So I said, so how was and Chabad comes there. Chabad goes to his office every single Friday. And every single Friday says, no thank you. And they keep on coming back. He wore tefillin, I think, once in his life. So he said, it was very sad. He said, we don't do that. I said, what about Shiva? We don't do that. Mam Shiurim Hadayas, complete disconnect. I thought like it's a normal thing for even non-religious. A little bit of Shiva, a day, 2 days. No, we don't do that, huh?
No, I had people to Shiva went to a restaurant for Shiva.
Okay, but at least there's some sort of
something.
No, we don't do this. When you go to a public place and you switch out clothing, coats, umbrellas, you're not allowed to use the other guys. Maishna ratio, Maishna seifa, what's the difference if you go to a wedding or if it's the cleaners? Omarav, have you seen the Kamei de Chavivi? We sat in front of Chavivi. Who's Chavivi, Rabbi Isai? Who's Chavivi? Rav Chia. How's Rav related to Rav Chia? It's his uncle. How's his uncle? No? Douglas doesn't remember from last week. A brother, half, married the other sister, and they had Rav. Rav Chia's brother married Rav Chia's sister. How's that possible? They're both brother and sister. Fine, half. I was sitting in front of my uncle Reb Chia. He said, there's certain places, I don't know if here in Chicago, certain places, maybe third world countries, you go to the cleaners, you can buy people's clothing that people left it there for 2 years, you can buy it cheap. So you go to the cleaner, you say, here, take my coat, I will sell it on consignment, and Shalom Yisrael, it happens. Now, the cleaner made a mistake. Instead of selling your coat, he sold the other guy's coat. So what does he do? He takes your coat that he was supposed to sell, and he gives it to you. So now you have a coat. So that's okay. Because the owner of the coat wanted to be sold, and it was sold through another coat. The owner wants this coat to be sold, instead he sold this coat. So just take this coat and give it to the guy that owned this coat, and everything's good. The owner will get the money, and everything's good. That works only when the dry cleaner guy himself gives over the shirt, the coat, because then he does it deliberately, does it b'mezid. But if it's the wife, wives make mistakes. Believe it or not, some wives make mistakes, and it's very possible that she made a mistake. She grabbed the wrong coat off the hanger. Now, like I said before, the Aruch HaShulchan says, when it comes to sheina coats, when it comes to umbrellas that look the same, when it comes to galachas, it comes to anything that's the same company, the same thing, and people are not makbid, then if that's what the guy did, he left you his thing, then you could take it and use it until you find the real owner. Otherwise, if like a really expensive jacket, a really expensive suit, and it looks similar, or like obviously luggage, you don't have that heter because you have different things in there, then it's very problematic. You shouldn't be using somebody else's thing, even though he by mistake stole your thing. Of course, why not? Yeah. He's asking if it's is that Shabbos Aveda? Why not?
Doesn't have a name.
If both don't have names, then but you have a simon. You have a simon. I don't know. When the cleaners gives you a talis, he doesn't say anything. He says, "Here, take this shirt." But if he says, "Take your shirt," then obviously he's making a mistake here. The whole svara is that he's taking somebody else's shirt because by mistake he sold your shirt. So he says, "Take a shirt." But if he says, "Take your shirt," now you see that he's making a mistake right now. So now you're not allowed to use that shirt because it's not yours. I love talis dedeyu. It's not your talis. You shouldn't be using it. Rabbi says you have to be very careful. I don't know if people know this halacha. Yeah, you come to shul, somebody took your coat. You're very upset at him, and now it's raining outside. What do? It's not so pashut to use his coat. Let me show you a bunch of thieves, the guys from Pumbedisa. So the Ran says that, there's another Gemara that says that if you're being accompanied by somebody from Pumbedisa, don't sleep in the same hotel with him. They're very dangerous, these guys. Okay, so Pumbedisa guy is a little bit of a shakran. Let me show you that they're liars. You go to the cleaners in Pumbedisa, you say, "Could I please have the suit I dropped off here?" What does the guy answer you? I don't know who you are. What do you mean you don't know? I have witnesses that saw you wearing my suit, or that it was hanging in your place. That's a different one. Oh, really? It's a different one? I would like to see it. Show me, prove me that it's a different one. She says, "No, I can't show it to you. There's HIPAA laws regarding dry cleaners. There's HIPAA laws. Just like I can't talk about here. First, a picture. Privacy policy: respect our customers' privacy. Will not show a garment without 3 IDs and official warrant." Okay, I'm not. But no, I'm not going to show you. The guy's a Ganav. He's a Pumbedisa guy. He doesn't want to show you your coat because he stole it. So he says, there's privacy issues here. I can't show it to you. I don't. It's private. Makes sense. The HIPAA laws in the dry cleaners. Why? Raw Tanya. It says that when you see the dry cleaner wearing it, using it, then it's a problem. But you can't accuse him of it. You can't just tell him, "Hey, I think you have it," and prove it. And if the owner of the clothing is a smart guy, you could turn it into a raw. What does that mean? But the second he pulls it out of the drawer, then it's interesting. I said the other day that beer is shkoyach. Beer and beer are the same word. So the people here in Chicago, they jumped all over this. It's not beer and beer, it's bear. Bear and beer. 2 different words. So some other guy, but New Yorkers, they have no idea. It's beer and beer. Depends where you're from. You're right, in Chicago. Some people, rough and roof, whatever, different havaras. I get it. So I apologize to all those who say bear. My wife said, "Of course, it's bear. It's not beer. Who says beer? Anybody here not from Chicago? How do you say it?
Bear.
Bear? Beer? Okay, now it's that case. Now you're in between. That just means you live in Chicago a long time and you're starting to convert. Do you say pop instead of soda? Oh, you don't even know what that is. That's also to say. It's like a not nice word. Echap. Zog the Gemara. Oh, so how do I make the guy show it to me? You say like this. Why did you steal my shirt? Isn't it because I owe you money? Okay. Take it out of your drawer. And let's get a appraiser. You take the value of what you think I owe you. Whatever's left over, I'll take. What? You think that my shirt is exactly the amount of money that I took from you? Oh, and once he pulls it out and they start assessing it, oh, I saw you using it. That's it. Give it back to me. He says, what are you joking? You know how many people learn the Daf? A lot of people learn Daf Mem Vav Amud Beis. Not a lot, unfortunately. But maybe he went to Daf Yomi and he knows the trick. So he's not going to fall for the trick. He's not going to pull it out to do an assessment. He knows that if he pulls it out, now it will become a raw. It became a raw. I saw it. I see it. And once I see it, you're obligated to give it to me. Why? Because you're the owner of the dry cleaner. Owner of dry cleaner is not allowed to be seen with other people's clothing. If he is, he has to give it back. I said this story, but I got to say it again. I didn't really say it to the Israelis. I don't know if they'd appreciate it as much. I used to travel out from Brooklyn to Passaic, right? All the time, back, forth, a few times a week. I used to learn with my father, Chavrusa. So I was always harassed by these homeless guys. They'd come and say they need money. But one of the tricks is they would say, "You want money for the bus?" They need money for the bus. They're stuck in Port Authority without money for the bus. So I devised a system that now became very popular, but I'm the one. I'm the Russia that had devised it. I used to stop because they would annoy me. So I'd say, "How much money is the bus?" They'd say $6. I said, "Sure, no problem. You have change of 20?" So the guy says, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, so you have $6. See you later." That was my shtick. This is how I do. Anyway, fine. Now there's pro-homeless people watching, and now they're not so happy with me. Now I'll go to Los Angeles. Nobody's showing up to my share because they love it.
Homeless, they're in a house.
They're what?
They're homeless, you can't use that word anymore.
Oh, really? What is it? What is it? Unhoused. Unhinged. Unhoused. The matzah in Los Angeles is Maridik. I don't know if you've ever been there. There's more homeless structures in the street than houses. It's crazy. Okay. So says the Gemara. So he says like this. This Chacham says, I don't need your shuma. I know the halacha, what you're trying to do here. I already showed it to a appraiser. Yeah, you want me to praise it? Sure. I showed it to a appraiser. In other words, get lost. I'm not showing it to you because if I show it to you for a second, then it becomes a seen object, and a seen object you're able to take from me. We learned in the Mishnah, going back to the Mishnah, it says that a Uman doesn't have chazaka, Shutav doesn't have, and an Aris doesn't have a chazaka. What's an Aris? Aris is a sharecropper. He works in the field very hard, and he takes a certain percentage, 30%, 50%. Says the Gemara, why not? At the end of the day, Aris was getting 50%. For the last 3 years, he was taking 100%. Isn't that great proof that he owns the field? Why would somebody let him sit there for 3 years and take 100%? In Hebrew, today, betavot, betzkini, betavot, means a nursing home. It means a guy is in the field for so many years that you become accustomed to him and you make a deal with him. Instead of every year splitting it 50-50, you make a deal with him. You take 3 years 100%, and then you give me 3 years 100%. So that's what happens. Just because he sat there for 3 years and benefited for 3 years straight, doesn't mean that it says, Omer Rav Nachman, Arish Shahiri Darisin Tachtav Yesh Lo Chazaka. If a sharecropper who took other sharecroppers to do the job, yeah, the famous Maisa, there was a bridge that needed to be built in Israel. So they got three 3 offers from 3 different contractors. One was an Arab. He said, I'll do it for $1 million. I need a third for the material, a third for the workers, and I need a third profit. Okay, great. The Russian said $2 million. A third for material, a third for workers, and a third for profit. The Jew said $3 million. He said, $3 million? Are you sure? He said, yeah. $1 million for me, $1 million for you, and $1 million for the Arab. And guess who won the bid? So, this artist, that's what he did. He got the money. He's a sharecropper. And he hired other people to do it. He found people to do it for cheaper. He just takes the cut from the top. Yesh le chazaka. You know why that's a chazaka? The artist himself doesn't have chazaka. But when he leaves the field and the owner sees random people walking around his field and uprooting his trees and doing stuff, he gets very mad and he makes a macha. He's going to make a protest. Why are other people in my field? I gave permission to you. I didn't give permission to this other company, random people, to be in my field. My time in the Levit is he's not going to let other people be in his field and be quiet. The fact that he's quiet, that's a perfect chazaka. Reb Elchanan, oh, says Reb Elchanan, if there's a aris, that's a base av. Okay, we have to point that out. He's there for many times. Let's show it. Here we go. He's there for a while, and he's going to sit there and watch the other guys. He's delegating. Now, the fact that he has other people working there, that's not a good raya that he did a chazaka. My time, the what? The owner of the field knows that this clown with the pina colada or whatever he's drinking there, he's not going to be able to do all the work himself. He gave him the job, understanding that he's going to bring people to work, but he's going to supervise them. He's going to sit there and supervise. That's okay with him. The other case was that he didn't supervise. He just took another group. He subcontracted it and he left. I don't want a subcontractor here. We had a subcontractor. We did a job, the last job I did here in America, subcontracted to a local guy. I hope he's not watching. And at the end, like they took off the air conditioning off the roof. They did a great job on the demo, but they did too good of a job, and they left a massive hole in the roof. And I was already in Eretz Yisrael. Rain came in, destroyed the place, crazy damage. There was like 2 feet of water in the basement, mold everywhere. It was a disaster. And I told her, I said, I didn't know you're going to use that other company. You told me you're going to do the work. He was blaming him. I'm blaming this guy. But Kitzer, everybody's blaming the other guy. Nobody wants subcontractors. You want to work there and supervise the work. Okay, great. I know I'm going to get a text message from one of the guys. One of the guys does watch this year. The guy that got the most damage, and he's still upset at me. I think it was what do you know what I'm talking about? Really? How do you know? Okay, Yosef. Shalach le Rav Nachman bar Rav Chisda Rav Nachman bar Yaakov. Yilamdenu Rabbeinu. Okay, a question. We're going to do one question here, 6 lines, and that's it for today. He's asking Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Yilamdenu, please teach us. Aris meyid or ye'eni meyid. Now, what's the question? We know that you cannot testify when you're biased. You can't testify for your own son, for your wife. Can a sharecropper testify for the owner of the field? What should be the obvious answer? Absolutely not. You're biased. Why would you be able to testify for the owner? Think about it. What am I testifying? I'm testifying that he owns this field. So Bezin is going to say he owns the field. And then me, the sharecropper, I'm going to take 50% of the produce from that field. So I benefit directly from my testimony. Of course I can't testify. The Gemara says, Rav Yosef says in the name of Shmuel, Aris Meid, he could testify. The question is why? So in order to answer that, we have to bring a contradiction. It says Mefurish in the Brisa, you cannot testify, which makes more sense. It's not a kasha. Why? When it's like this picture, when there's fruit everywhere, the guy on the chair is going to benefit, so he can't testify. But when there's no produce whatsoever, it's one of these fields that's not producing, so let the sharecropper testify. It's not going to help him out. He's not going to gain anything by testifying. There's no fruit there. Boy, say, have a wonderful day, a Gutten Shabbos, or a Guten Voch, wherever you are. Bezrat Hashem, Motzei Shabbos here, 10:30 English, 11:30 Hebrew. Shkoyach coming on such short notice. Bezer Hashem again, Los Angeles. Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, Los Angeles. Thursday night, Friday afternoon, Motzei Shabbos in the Valley, I believe. And then we have to discuss about Tisha B'Av, Erev Tisha B'Av. We have to learn before Chatzos. It's going to be early. Motzei Tisha B'Av is going to be a Shir Bezer Hashem, 2 Shiurim. Wish me luck. Zayk is in a good Shabbos.